Therapeutics of glaucoma. In the previous session, we discussed the drugs effects on eye, various drugs and their effects on the eyes. First, you should know the glaucoma. What is glaucoma? Glaucoma is a condition related to the eye in which there is increase in intraocular pressure. We can say hypertension of the eye. There is an increased intraocular pressure, hypertension of the eye, and this intraocular pressure may damage to the optic nerve, which may leads to blurred vision and the blindness. Glaucoma is a clinical condition and may leads to the blindness in the old persons, usually age of more than 60 year of age, if it is left untreated. So glaucoma is an eye condition in which there is increased intraocular pressure, which may damage to the optic nerve and may leads to the blurred vision and the blindness. There are two types of the glaucoma: open angle glaucoma and the closed angle glaucoma. Now, the open angle glaucoma and the closed angle glaucoma, what is it? What is the difference between two? Let us see in the diagram. First, the open angle glaucoma versus closed, or we can say narrow angle glaucoma. If you see in the open angle glaucoma, the iris is in the right position, but the uveo-scleral drainage canals are clear, but the trabecular meshwork isn't working and isn't draining properly. If you see here, there is the trabecular meshwork. But in the closed angle glaucoma, the iris is squeezed against the cornea. In the closed angle glaucoma, the iris is squeezed against the cornea, blocking the uveoscleral drains and both trabecular meshwork. Let us see the image. Actually, what happens in this glaucoma. If you are able to see this image, the difference between open angle and the closed angle glaucoma. In open angle, if you see in the open angle, the iris is intact. Ciliary body and the drainage is also intact. The trabecular meshwork here is not working properly. This is the trabecular meshwork. As we see in the sentence, trabecular meshwork drainage not properly in the open angle glaucoma. So there is a trabecular meshwork. In closed angle glaucoma, if you see what happened, the iris is squeezed between the cornea and the lens. In the open angle glaucoma, the lens is intact, iris is intact, but in the closed angle glaucoma, the iris is squeezed between the cornea and the lens. And if you see, there is a hindrance for the outflow of the aqueous formation and the outflow. and trabecular meshwork is here. Let us see another image. Yes, the normal eye, in the normal eye, if you see the normal flow of the aqueous humor from the iris, you can see there is a normal flow of the aqueous humor. This is the iris is intact and the anterior chamber is also intact. But in narrow angle or closed angle glaucoma, if you see the iris is squeezed between this cornea and the lens, the blocked flow, the flow is blocked. If you see this arrow in the normal eye, the aqueous humor flow is normal to the cornea. But here in the closed angle glaucoma, if you see this flow is blocked, aqueous flow is blocked, and the drainage angles are closed. If you see the meshwork and the trabecular meshworks are the closed, and the pupils are blocked, fluid pushes the iris until it closes the drainage angle in the anterior chamber. So anterior chamber is also closed. So this is the main difference between the uh, open angle glaucoma and the closed angle glaucoma. Glaucoma, a leading cause of blindness worldwide. It is a group of disease that can irreversibly damage the optic nerve. Irreversibly damage the optic nerve. Optic nerve damage may lead to blindness and resulting in the visual field loss. So optic nerve damage, or we can say cupping of the optic nerve in medical diagnosis, it is also called the cupping of the optic nerve, which results to the visual field loss. Treatment of ocular hypertension, and also called as primary open angle glaucoma. What is the reason for this open angle glaucoma? It's caused by the relative obstruction of aqueous humor flow through the trabecular meshwork. As we just seen in the image, there is the obstruction for the outflow of the aqueous humor by the trabecular meshwork. This is the obstruction. The trabecular meshwork is obstructed, the outflow. So here our treatment aim, what happened in the glaucoma? There is an obstruction in the aqueous outflow. So our pharmacologic treatment strategy should include increase the aqueous formation and increase the aqueous outflow. This is our target. What happened in the glaucoma? The aqueous humor outflow is get closed, is get restricted due to trabecular meshwork is not able to drainage. So our drug should be increase the aqueous outflow. Our drug should be increase the aqueous outflow or either decrease the aqueous formation. Please clear. In the glaucoma, there is the humor, aqueous humor drainage is get blocked. So our target of the therapy is to increase the aqueous outflow or decrease the aqueous formation, so iris will not be squeezed, or we can say is in the right position. So that's why here the Obstruction of aqueous humor flow through the trabecular meshwork is a reason for the glaucoma, and treatment is usually medical. And generally, topical route means ophthalmic solution or gel forming solution. We need the eye drops, ophthalmic solutions, maybe eye drops, maybe eye ointments is a preferred type of therapy because our target is eye. So the drugs generally used in the form of the eye drops or the eye ointment, and the drug should be given in the lowest concentration and to avoid the variation in the intraocular pressure. After starting the medical treatment, evaluate the patient 2 to 4 weeks after the initiation or alteration of medical therapy. After evaluation, you can find out the conclusion for the drug, maybe increase in the dose or maybe alternate medications. To treat the ocular hypertension, if the patient has significant risk factor, when we have to treat the ocular hypertension, if the patient has risk factor, which are these? If the intraocular pressure is greater than 25 millimeter of Hg, start the medication. Vertical cup disc ratio greater than 0.5. If central corneal thickness less than 555 micrometer, if the family history of glaucoma, the black race, severe myopia. Myopia is a condition in which the patients are able to see the near object but are not able to see the far object. And presence of only one eye indicates the treatment for the glaucoma. What is the goal of treatment? When you start the medication, the goal is to preserve visual functions by reducing intraocular pressure to a level at which no further optic nerve damage occurs. What happens in the glaucoma? The intraocular pressure is increased and which may damage the optic nerve. Our target here to preserve the optic nerve, so that's why we have to lower the intraocular pressure by 20 to 30% from the baseline. Gradually decrease in the intraocular pressure, not suddenly. When we start the therapy, any medication, in any eye drop, the intraocular pressure should be decreased gradually by 20 to 30%. Treat all patients with elevated intraocular pressure and characteristic optic disc changes or visual field defects, and these optic disc changes and visual field defects, you will get these results from the ophthalmologic examinations. An initial target intraocular pressure reduction of 30% is desired in patients with primary open angle glaucoma. And initiate the drug therapy in stepwise manner, starting with the lower concentration of single well tolerated topical agent, maybe eye drop or maybe ointments. Now, the drugs are classified into 4 categories: first line, second line, third line, and the last one is fourth line. The first line drugs are highly effective in the management of open angle glaucoma and these are the first one is prostaglandins analog, and these are the available in the eye drops. The examples are latanoprost, travoprost, and tafluprost. The suffix are with the prost, because these are the suffix prost indicates that these are the prostaglandins analog. When there is a prost, they indicates the drugs are prostaglandins analog. So you have to start with the only single drug prostaglandins analog, and if the prostaglandins analog is not found useful or not significant reduction in the intraocular pressure, you can use beta blocker, eye drops. The examples are betaxolol and timolol. As you know, the suffix for beta blockers are olol, 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 olol. So betaxolol and timolol are the beta blockers in the first line. Now in the first line agent, you can select according to the patient's history. If the patient had some cardiovascular problem, if the patient has COPD, then beta blocker should be avoided in this case, because we know that if there is a timolol, it will block the beta 1 as well as beta 2 receptor, and the beta 1 receptor available, beta 1 adrenergic receptor available in the heart muscle, and beta 2 adrenergic receptor available in the bronchial smooth muscle. So patient of the cardiovascular disease and the COPD should avoid the use of timolol. Betoxolol is only selective to the beta 1, but still there is a problem of the cardiovascular. So in this case, the prostaglandins analog is the best choice as a first line agent. If this first line agents you started and after few days you again examine the patient's ophthalmic test and there was no significant benefit from the first line agent, you can start with the second line agents. Or if the first line agents are contraindicated, you can start with the second line agents when the first line agents are ineffective or contraindicated. Examples are second line agents: carbonic anhydrase inhibitors. Generally, carbonic anhydrase inhibitors are categorized as the diuretics. These are the acetazolamide. Acetazolamide, it is available in the tablet form, but eye drops available from the category of carbonic anhydrase inhibitors, and these are brinzolamide and drozolamide. If you see, the suffix for this is zolamide, zolamide, zolamide. If the zolamide suffix in the drug, this indicates the carbonic anhydrase inhibitors. Next example is topical adrenergic agonist, and they are available in the eye drop, apraclonidine and brimonidine. These are the second line agents. If the second line agents are ineffective, contraindicated, then use the third line agents, pilocarpine. As we discussed in the previous session of the effect of drug on the eye, the pilocarpine is a cholinergic derivative from the, we can say, cholinergic drug, act on the M3 muscarinic 3 receptor in the eye and causes miosis. When there is a miosis, it will help to reduce the intraocular pressure. Miosis means decrease in the size of the pupil, and this meiotic effect is useful to reduce the intraocular pressure. So that's why the pilocarpine eye drops are available. Next category, next example from the third line agents is dipivefrin, which is a prodrug of epinephrine, that we can say prodrug of the adrenaline, and it is available as eye drop, and it also reduces the intraocular pressure. And the last option, we can say fourth line agent or last resort options, we can use carbachol. Carbachol, it is also cholinergic derivative or cholinergic drug, but it act on muscarinic 3 as well as nicotinic receptor available in the eye drop. And in the previous session, as we discussed, how can we differentiate between the pilocarpine and the carbachol? So there is one test, we can say eyelid twitches, and the in the carbachol the eyelid twitches are present due to activation of nicotinic receptor, while in the pilocarpine the eyelid twitches are absent, and both drug causes miosis, pilocarpine and carbachol. Topical cholinesterase inhibitor. The cholinesterase inhibitor means also these are the cholinergic derivative, cholinergic drug, and examples are ecothiopate, eye drop. They will reduce the intraocular pressure, and oral carbonic anhydrase inhibitors, acetazolamide, as we seen here, the acetazolamide available in the tablet form, and it is the, we can say, last option in the management of the uh, open angle glaucoma. Now, how the drug act? If you see the mechanism of action, as our target here to reduce the intraocular pressure, and in the open angle glaucoma, there is an the obstruction for the aqueous outflow. So our all categories of drug either act by either increasing aqueous outflow or by decreasing the aqueous formation. So there is only two primary mechanisms by which these drugs act. If you see, topical prostaglandins analog increases the aqueous outflow. Topical miotics increases the aqueous outflow. Topical adrenergic agonist increases the aqueous outflow and decreases the aqueous formation. Topical beta blockers decreases the aqueous formation. Topical carbonic anhydrase inhibitor decreases the aqueous formation, and oral carbonic anhydrase inhibitors also decrease the aqueous formations. So there is only two main primary mechanisms where the drug act. Now there is one therapy, we can say nasolacrimal or punctional occlusion. This nasolacrimal occlusion is a technique that decreases the amount of drug absorbed systemically. We can say occlusion of puncture through the application of slight pressure with the finger to the inner corner of the eye, close it to the nose for 3 to 5 minutes during and after drug instillation. What will happen? It will decrease the systemic absorption of ophthalmic medication, Maybe example butoxolol, betaxolol, and it will decrease the incidence of side effects and increase the target medication effectiveness. So what is this nasolacrimal occlusion? Let us see in the diagram. See, yes, if you instill the eye drop into the eye, just press like this. If you see this image, it is called nasolacrimal occlusion. See the image. This nasolacrimal occlusion will reduce the systemic absorption of drug and will reduce the adverse effect, increase the contact time of drug to the eye, and increase the effectiveness of drug. So this technique is called nasolacrimal occlusion. There is one important note. If glaucoma is treated by two drug or more drug, the administration of two drug at least 5 to 10 minutes apart, you have to administer the drug, that give the gap between two drug. So what will be the benefit? If you instill the first drug and again you instill the second drug, the first drug will be washed out. So to avoid the washout of the first instilled drug, this should be consideration when assessing to the response to the therapy. So it is recommended if the patient using two eye drops, no need to instill at the same time. What is the drawback? If you instill the first drug and then second, so first drug will be wash out. So take the distance more than 10 minutes. And there is also one note: optimal timing of the maximum time of the laser trabeculo trabeculoplasty. It is a surgery for the trabecular meshwork or surgical trabeculotomy is difficult if the time for the initial therapy and failure of the third and fourth drug line therapy is more. So it means that the decision for the trabeculotomy should be taken as soon as possible to avoid the difficulties in the management of the case. Let us see the drug one by one. Topical prostaglandins analog, and the examples from this: latanoprost, travoprost, and tafluprost. Mechanism, as we discussed, all the drugs generally increase the aqueous outflow and by decrease the aqueous formations. So mechanism of action: latanoprost, travoprost, and the tafluprost increase the uveoscleral outflow of the aqueous, while bimatoprost increase the uveoscleral and trabecular outflow of the aqueous. Latanoprost has addictive effect when administered with the beta blocker. Example, timolol. Carbonic anhydrase inhibitors, dorzolamide and alpha-2 adrenergic agonist, that is brimonidine and apraclonidine. So if you additive effect, what is the additive effect? So 1 plus 1 is equal to more than 2. So if you take the latanoprost, this is the first line drug, and plus you also choose the beta blocker timolol, it will use the more effect. 1 plus 1 is equal to more than 2. But what is the side effect? Pigmentation of the iris. They change the color of the eye due to increase in the production of melanin in the iris. This is the cosmetic effect and occurs most commonly in patients with multicolored iris on long-term prostaglandins analog therapy. And generally, the latanoprost is having the side effect to change the color of eye. The color of eye change may be the brown or maybe the blue. We can say pigmentation of the iris. Plus this prostaglandins analog on long-term therapy may be responsible for the pigmentation of palpebral skin of the eye, increase the length and thickness of the eyelashes. So this is due to increase in the length and thickness of the eyelashes. It is also used in the cosmetic by the women's. Reactivation of the ocular herpes simplex infection. So it also reactivate the viral infections of the eye. And cystoid macular edema. There is the edema for the macular cells of the eye. FDA approved the cosmetic use of bimatoprost solution under the trade name of Lattice, and it is used by the women for the increase the length and thickness of the eyelashes, which is drug bimatoprost. So you can also find out this bimatoprost in the cosmetic shop. Lattice solution is applied with an applicator to the base of upper eyelashes for the treatment of hypotrichosis. You can say inadequate eyelashes, for the eyelashes lengthening, thickening, and darkening or pigmentation is seen after 8 to 16 weeks. So this solution used for the 8 to 16 weeks, means near about 4 months, and after 4 months the eyelashes will increase in the length and the thickness for the beauty purpose. So this is about the topical prostaglandins analog, latanoprost, travoprost, and tafluprost. Next one is topical beta blocker. Now we have timolol, which is non-selective beta adrenergic blocker. So it will act on beta 1 and beta 2 receptor. We have less than a minute. Please join again after the discontinuation of this lecture. Join again, please. Topical beta blockers. Non-selective beta adrenergic blockers. Timolol, leobunolol, and cartiolol.